nasty divorce, and the ex-husband, or simply ex-husband, burned down the house. And unfortunately, we know the story's true about the mother being killed, if it's the mother that was gone.
Are you two together?
That was really good.
That was brilliant.
It's kind of romantic, isn't it?
That's incredible.
Everlasting love.
That was incredible.
Hey.
Oh, hey, howdy, hey.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that one.
Ah.
I like that one. You look. What's going on? You look different today. Your whole screen and everything looks different. What's going
Well,
on?
my camera looks better.
Yes.
If I found out if I take the virtual background off, the quality goes up massively.
Oh, this is your new camera, right?
Yeah, this is my new camera, yeah. So I've got that. Obviously, my beard is still massively long, so I need to sort that out.
I didn't even notice. I don't even pay attention to that stuff.
Well, neither do I. I just keep every week I come on here and I'm like, oh, it's actually quite long.
Is it? Yeah, it is. I can't really. It's hard to tell because you're wearing the black, right? So it's hard to see how long it actually is from my end. Oh, there you go. Yeah, it is quite long. You look like you wouldn't think you're a manager.
Why?
You would think you're like a homeless person or something.
No, this is what real men look like, Brian.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, touche. Because I can't grow a beard. I just can't. For whatever the reason, it gets to a certain length and stops.
Well, it's a talent, Brian.
It is a talent. It is a talent. It's great. And for the people on the podcast today, my name is Bryan-jon Laverty, and this is my homeless friend, Lex. Paranormal.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, we got a great show today.
We do.
I've been looking forward to having this guy on for a while. Now, I will say, I should have had him on a long time ago, when we first hooked up with Paralanx. But we had Steven on the show. And you know what? And I will say, Jonathan is right. What he says here. New cam looks great. It makes you. You know what? It actually looks like you have a filter on because your skin looks all smooth and everything like that. No, you look great.
Yeah, all I've done. So I don't have any lights on. I just have. So my camera has a lit ring light around it. So like that.
Yeah.
So I've got no lights on in here, but my camera light. So.
Oh, sorry. My bad. I'm sorry. It was Matt that said that.
Oh, it was Matt.
Not Jonathan. My bad. I'm sorry.
Is my name on the script wrong?
I apologize for that.
You should know, Matt. You have a copy of our script.
Yeah, and RG saying rock the beard.
Oh,
rock the beard.
Thank you very much.
Courtney's in the room. Thank you for coming in the room today, Courtney. And as always, I'm assuming that is Big Rob. And Suzette's in the room today.
Howdy.
Who else is in the room? Liz is in the room. There's Liz.
Hello.
And there's Nando. And Nando and Matt just finished doing a show on GGH Live. So you definitely want to go check out that. They went through the whole schedule for the 10 days of the sorry, buddy. I apologize. I don't know why I said Jonathan. But yeah, so they went through the whole schedule on their show, and they talked about all the teams and all the locations, and it was a long show. I'll say that. It was a very long show, And it was a great show. It was a really, really good show. And moments before we came on live, and I will let people know, we had a team sign up for the Global Ghost Hunt for October. So it's great. Another team signed up. And so like Matt and Nando said, teams are starting to book for October. And I'm happy to say that we will have a team. There was a team that signed up from Canada. So that's going to be great. Yes, I know I'm from Canada, but I'm actually going out. I'm pretty sure I'm going to, because I found out it's only about a 3.5 hour drive. So I might go out and meet Todd and Marissa for the Hinsdale House investigation. So I might do that. I'm probably am going to do that, but you know how I feel about, going across the border. It's never fun. So so they had a great show. And so if you want to find out more about the schedule and the teams, go check out their live they did today. And I think it ended around 3:20 or something like that. So it started at 2.
Oh dear.
So it's a long show, but you're going to get to learn a little more about the locations and the teams that are part of the very first Global Ghost Hunt, which is going to be a lot of fun. And as Matt said, we're only literally just under 5 days away, right? So
Just under.
Yeah, so it's been a little bit overwhelming these last couple of weeks, and I think everybody on the admin team really, really wants to get this going, and for the teams that have signed up, they want to get it going too. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll see what this one's like, and it should be exciting. Like, even when Matt and Nando were talking today about some of the locations, like there are some locations that are part of this Global Ghost Hunt that nobody's ever heard of. And that's what I really, really, really like, because you're going to get to see these locations that are not famous locations. And if that location happens to be in your area, call them up after the Global Ghost Hunt and say, listen, we saw you in the Global Ghost Hunt. We want to come and check out your location and book. And that's what we're hoping that a lot of people will do after seeing all these different locations on the Global Ghost Hunt. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So anyways, Mr. Lex.
Mr. Me.
So if you want to shout out somebody that's in the room that I didn't say hi to, and that would be Anthony. Hi, Anthony.
Anthony.
I don't think I've seen this person before. Maybe that's somebody from Howard's side. Hi, Tanya. Nice meeting you.
Welcome to the show.
In. And we have Lost Souls in the room. How you doing, Daryl? Nice to see you. And thank you, Courtney, for putting that stuff up as well. And yeah, so Anthony's going to be, they're going to be investigating the Concordia Cemetery in El Paso, Texas. So that should be a lot of fun.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to seeing that. So anything going on with you, Lex, you want to talk about?
No, nothing in particular of it. Again, sorry, my video wasn't out yet. Again, I'm still trying to fix this bloody
crap. Yeah, that's right.
investigation thing. So
you were supposed to be on. You want me to go through my video to see if we can hear?
If you can hear it, because I only need it for, I think it's a 7 minutes, so I just need it for that.
Now I couldn't hear it obviously because I had the headphones on, but
the camera might have picked it up.
I think my camera is really, really good, and the microphone is really, really good. So I might have picked it up. So I'll go through my video and see if we did pick it up, and then I will clip it out and send it to you. How about
Awesome.
that?
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
but yes, the video is almost done. It's just that bit. But other than that, I've been at work all week. It's been it's a bank holiday over here this week and next week. Okay. So it's just been mad busy.
Okay. And we for the Global Ghost Hunt on Thursday, we have the 2:30 ceremony show or pre-ceremony or whatever you.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get it off work.
Yeah. Okay. Well, walk around with the phone or something like that.
That's what I might say to them. Like, I'm going to bring my laptop in and I'm going to be upstairs for half an hour.
Actually, I think the show's only going to be about 15-20 minutes.
Yeah, so I'll be able to. I'll be there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So, hi, Bill. How are you? Thank you for coming in. So, what can I say about this guest? Howard Pitre. He is definitely a character. He is definitely a character. And this is the gentleman, if people don't know, when me and Lex have our show going on, and if a comment pops through all the comments, and if you see nipples, this is the guy that's writing that.
For some reason, yeah.
Yeah, well, it stems back from when I was on the show and they were talking about tassels, and Howard showed his nipple, and then everybody was asking to see mine, so I proceeded to show mine. So that's where that comes up from. But Howard is part owner of Paralanx, who we're partnered with Parapost. And honestly, I will admit, at the very, very beginning when I first met them, and Howard can attest to this, I was hesitant. And there were a lot of reasons why I was hesitant, because of what's happened in the past with some people about connecting with Paralanx and Parapost. But Matt is the one that set it up and got me and Howard together, and Steven was there. And we had a very, very long talk, and I felt a lot more comfortable proceeding with it because of Steven and Howard, especially Howard, because he made me feel very comfortable. And he literally said, let's try it out for a few months and see where it goes. And I said the exact same thing. And here we are 7 months later, 6 months later, and it's going strong. It's really, really going strong. And Howard's a great guy, and Chrissy, I think Chrissy's fantastic. She's got a few faults, but we'll look past those. And Howard's laughing in the background. I'm only kidding, Chrissy. If you see the replay, I'm only kidding. So, but no, it's been great, and we're only going to get better. And me and Howard talked a couple of weeks ago about expanding our networks, meaning that we're opening our networks to other than paranormal. And we think with doing that our networks will grow even bigger. And my goal for this time next year is for Paralanx and Parapost Network Central to be the #1 networks out there for all different types of podcasts. And that's what we're striving for. I got some new podcasts coming. So once they come, they'll be going over to Paralanx as well. And we're just going to have a different variety of different vodcasts. We just don't want it to be about the paranormal. Yes, we obviously love the paranormal, but we want to open it up to crafts. We want to open up to more people coming on with actors and actresses and stuff like that. We already got Don Vick doing it. We have a new one called the Great Scott Podcast. That's he interviews very famous people. Now, he just interviewed somebody last week. Did you guys ever watch The Love Boat? Do you know what The Love Boat is?
No.
He interviewed Gopher from The Love Boat. And it was look it up on YouTube. And it was a really, really great show in the late 70s, early 80s. And it was a really great show. And I'm hoping that once he gets started on Parapost, that he's going to bring that type of actors and actresses and stuff like that. And there is another show coming out possibly that's going to be on crafts. Somebody that makes crafts and stuff like that. So that's going to be interesting. I would really love to get somebody on that does fishing, because I think fishing is really, really popular. And I would love to bring somebody on that does auto mechanics, like builds cars and fixes engines and all those different types of things. Because I think a lot of people can benefit from that, especially with cars. Everybody drives, and something always happens to your car. But if you know what the problem is, maybe you won't get scammed when you take it to the garage, because there's a lot of garages out there that scam people.
Everyone drives but me.
Yes. We're showing our age, Brian. Yes, we are showing our age. Whoever Facebook user is.
Yeah, and whoever told me to check the messages, I don't know who you are because it was Facebook user. So, and I did, and I don't see anything.
So again, we're opening up the networks, both networks, to a variety of different vodcasts. And it's Chris Mule. I don't know why he comes in as Facebook user. It doesn't make sense to me.
No, it doesn't. But let me just check that then.
So anyways, getting back to Howard, he obviously has a few shows. He's got the Swamp Talk. He's got Unholy Trinity. I believe he has one other show, and I can't recall its name, but he can tell us. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to be talking about Fearfest, and which is coming up in September. And for people that don't know, it used to be in October, but now, oh yeah, that's right. Thank you, Matt. It's a Petri dish. It used to be in October, but now it's been changed and it's at the end of September now. So hopefully that will help a lot of people, because I know some people that weren't going to be able to go to it because it was at that time. And it's great because I was going to be going. I'm going as a speaker, but it was going to be in the middle of the Global Ghost Hunt. So I'm glad it kind of got changed. So it's gonna help, because I'd rather be here taking care of the Global Ghost Hunt. Not that I don't, I trust everybody that's on the admin team, and I know they'll take care of it. But as I guess as an owner, you kind of want to watch. You just kind of want to make sure, right? So anyway, so let's bring up Howard. And by the way, me and Howard spoke before the show, and I told him he can be any Howard he wants.
So this could be interesting.
How's it going, guys?
Howdy.
You know what? I apologize. I forgot about the Petri dish, and I've been on the Petri dish, and
that's where you showed your nipples at, nipple.
Yeah. I don't think I'll ever live that down. It's funny, every time you come in the room, and soon as I see nipples, I go, okay, well, that's Howard. And if you were a Facebook user and you said that, I would know that was you as well. It's funny. So, and I think what I said earlier about when we first met, and like I said, Matt Barron is the one that set up the meeting between me, you, and Steven. And of course Matt was there as well. I think I was right when I said that. I think you knew I was a little bit hesitant because of what's happened in the past with me. Right. And you made me feel very, very comfortable going forward with it. But what were your first initial thoughts of the two networks coming together?
Oh, I thought it was a great idea. I appreciated Matt Barron for what he's done. Me and Matt actually started talking. Heck, the way I met Matt was quite unusual. Like he was doing a show and he was doing a rant, and I said, man, I got to meet this guy. He's crazy. I was like, yeah, throw it in there. Speak the truth, brother. I said, I've got to meet him, and I wound up meeting Matt, and we hit it off great. And we were talking about collaborations. So that's what we did. We started talking about collaborating both networks. And I was just a co-owner at the time, very low bottom, just basically almost a show host. And I started talking with Steven, who was the owner at the time. And we got everybody together, and we had a great sit down, and here we are now. I mean, we got along great.
Yeah, and we did. And, it was probably about a week before that Matt contacted me, and he wanted to talk to me, and he told me about what you guys were talking about, the idea. And one thing I love about Matt is that, and I really, really respected him for this as well. He called me up and said, you know what, Bryan, this is what they're offering. I want to let you know, how do you feel about it? And because obviously he'd been on Parapost Network for since the beginning. And I really, really respected him coming to me and talking to me about it. And my only advice to him was, be careful, because sometimes when you go on a rant on every single show, that could hinder you getting more viewers. It might take viewers away. because it's okay to do it like maybe 1 or 2 shows every so often, but not to do it on every single show. And I know he came to you guys and talked to you about that and came out with some other ideas for the show. But I really, really respected Matt even more after he did that. And when he came to me and said, listen, what do you think about a collaboration with Paralanx? And I said to him, set up the meeting. Let's see where it goes. And here we are today, what, 7 months later, 6 months later?
Yeah.
And
I believe it's
going
because
strong.
both our networks, I believe both of our networks, we're both basically mirror images of each other. Really? That's my dog.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things that I liked about Parapost was that, and what we practice over at Paralanx side is that it's no drama. If people see what's going on in the paranormal community right now, there's a lot of drama, a lot of BS that's happening out there, and Parapost didn't have any. We don't tolerate it, and it's just one of those things we clicked. And it was almost like mirror images of each other. Yeah. So we figured that would be a great combination,
Yeah, and I remember the first month of us being together, like the pages like grew. Like I was watching the insights and stuff like that on Parapost Network, and it was up like on the percentage side, it was over 1,700% on the engagements. And I know Steven was telling me that when he was there at that time, that he goes, I can't believe that we're getting these numbers.
Yeah, it's big numbers.
And it really, really worked. And it's still going strong. And now that we've opened up the network to more vodcasts, and we put out that post, or Nando built that, Nando made that post. We've had all kinds of people messaging me going, even on Instagram, because I put it on Instagram. They go, we want to be part of this. And I brought some shows over from Instagram as well. So they're getting ready to go on there. And once they get on there, then they'll be coming over to Paralanx. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So like I said, I'm hoping by this time next year, Paralanx and Parapost will be the number 1, 2.
They're the biggest networks out there.
And
I'll be honest with you, I'm not looking at numbers.
No.
If we get one person to actually watch one of our shows, we did our job. I mean, heck, if I don't get anybody watched our show, I mean, personally, if I do it because it's a great. I love talking about the paranormal, but I also like entertaining. And to me, if you entertain your guests that come on to the show, they listen to you. They focus on what you have to say.
Yeah. But my thought is, Howard, sorry for interrupting, but my thought is not necessarily for me or you or Chrissy. It's about the shows that are on there already and getting them to build. That's when I say stuff like that, it's not about me or you. It's about the vodcasts that are doing all this hard work to put these shows together, and they should be recognized. And originally when I did Parapost Network, it was about that, because I would go through my timeline and I would see all these shows that had 1 or 2 people in it.
Right.
And I would watch the show. I go, this is a fantastic show. Like I saw Don Vick, his show, and I go, this is a fantastic show. And he has 2 people in the room.
Right.
And it was about, and when I messaged, and I'm always going to remember this, when I messaged him, he goes, well, I don't deal with the paranormal. And I say, I could care less if you deal with the paranormal. I want your show on my page. And that's what we did. And he's had such an amazing response. And even the people in the paranormal field love his show, So I think it's just great what we're doing, and helping all these different vodcasts get noticed and get recognized. And I know, like on the top of my head, I think of, Minnesota Spirit Hunters that didn't have very high numbers, and they didn't have a lot of followers. Now they've skyrocketed in numbers, so it was really about not me or you or Steven or Chrissy. It was about the vodcast coming to the page and them putting in the work and them putting in the effort and putting in the time and them building. And that's what I wanted. And that's what I'm doing. The exact same thing I'm doing for Global Ghost Hunt is getting these teams and locations recognized. And it's about growing. And you're right in what you said. There's so much drama, so much fighting in this field that we don't need to do it. Like, we have 2 networks right here that are putting on all these vodcasts. We're working well together. We're helping support these vodcasts. And by the way, we're getting along.
Right. That's the biggest thing. We're getting along. That's the biggest part. That's the biggest
thing. Yeah. Yeah. Lex, go ahead. Sorry, Lex, that was long-winded.
No, I was going to say I completely agree with what's being said. I think it's great work that both the networks are doing. By example, that's what this show was for.
Yeah.
In particular, it wasn't about me and Bryan. It was about bringing on paranormal YouTubers or paranormal podcasts or witch podcasts, whatever. We brought them on here because we knew they deserved more people watching their content than they were getting, and we've helped people on the way that way. So I like the idea that both the networks are doing that, and I do agree that it will be hopefully be the number 1 and number 2 biggest networks in the world next year. So
we hope so.
Yeah, so I want to congratulate you on the efforts so far, to both of you, because you're
helping
too, buddy. You're helping too. So it's just not about.
It's not just me though, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you. I mean, Chrissy's. I mean, the way I.
We know Chrissy's there too.
Well, Chrissy's the brains behind everything. I'm the beauty.
Really?
So I mean, yeah.
I thought it would be the opposite.
No. I don't. Well, everything we talk about, Chrissy and myself, we have to agree on everything. I mean,
of course.
And of course, I mean, that's the way we want to run our network. It's not one-sided. I don't make a decision without her, and she doesn't make a decision without me. And that's it's about working together, and that's where we want to do with Parapost. That's what we've been doing with Parapost. The big part of this, I mean, to be honest with you, about Parapost and Paralanx growing together, getting together, has to go with Stephen Woodard and Courtney Peterson. Courtney was a big, I mean, that lady, and she's in the chat. I know it. I call it, that's my mistress. Because I have I got a podcast wife, I got a real wife, I got a movie wife, and that's my mistress.
Jesus, Christmas must be horrible for you.
Oh man, look, they just take. And I don't get nothing in return. I mean, I guess that's what it's all about. I guess I don't know. but Courtney is an amazing person, and when they wanted to step back and they wanted to retire, and they have their own things they want to do. They've been doing it for a long time. And they gave us the reins and said, go with it, do it. Y'all run it. Y'all the owners now. And we appreciate that. And we still, the Courtney and Stephen and Crystal, they all still play a big part in what we do. I mean, we'll ask for, their advice and things and stuff like that. But like I said, we don't make decisions without one another. And I think that's what the whole partnership is about. I mean, it's just like when you come to me and I go to Chrissy, and it's like, it's one of those things, we all have to work together. And it's not like what I've been seeing, and Lexus is not against no one in the UK, because I love our people overseas, across the pond, so to speak. But I've seen a lot of great podcast shows and a lot of great networks that fell to the wayside because of conflict. I mean, there's a lot of drama that's happening over in the UK now, from what I'm seeing. So I mean, it's not just here in the States or in Canada or on this side of the pond, so to speak, but it's all over the world, I think. And it's a major thing that we all have to look at and just throw it away. I mean, if you got someone who's coming in there and wanting to be negative about everything, hey, you don't have to listen to them. Get rid of them. Just put them in, just ignore them, and they'll go away eventually. And just keep the positive attitudes, and I think everybody will work great together in the paranormal community, not just in our networks.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? I just realized something. That is not right, that I have to change. There we go. So I actually had it spelt wrong. It's actually
I
I
said
had
Fearfest.
Parafest. It was actually Fearfest.
Fearfest. It's Fearfest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So why don't we? I'm actually really interested. I don't think I've ever heard this story before. How you got involved in the paranormal? What is your actual origin story? Where did it begin?
I actually was I got, I guess, pulled into the paranormal world when I was about 5 years old. Uh, about 5 or 6 years old. I was it was, of course, a small little Howard, believe it or not. And I was in bed one night and I woke up out of a sound sleep, and right in front of me, face to face, was my great grandfather. And it was just like I was looking at one of y'all on the screen right now. I mean, he was just right there, just in my face. And I just seen him gradually just dissipate. And when I seen that, I jumped out of bed and ran to my parents' room. And I woke my mother up, and she told me, she said, "Don't worry about it. He's just asking for prayers." So ever since then, I was curious about why, where did he go? Why did he, I didn't know he had passed or anything, because I was too little to understand, life and death. I was still at that age where I was still learning that kind of stuff. And ever since then, I've been on the search for that stuff. Now, I've gotten out of it for a little while. I actually was working with MUFON for a little bit, and then I got reintroduced into the paranormal community right after the death of my daughter. It was quite some of the things that, of course, when you lose a child and stuff like that, you go through your grief. So you're mourning. You're in grief. I'm still in grief, to be honest with you, because it's been so recent. But it's like a portal opened up in my house, and it actually more and more activity has occurred in my home. And I've actually seen my daughter 4 times in my home, and she's crossing that veil. She's coming back and forth. I know she's able to do that, but yeah, it's just like I got reintroduced into it, and then ever since then, I've been a big, paranormal investigator. I've been out there whenever I can get something, an investigation going or something like that, and of course I'm there. But yeah, it's like it really piqued my interest. But yeah, I was back in the UFOs and stuff like that because I found that more interesting at the time. But this really reintroduced me back into the paranormal field.
Yeah, I always say this: a parent should never bury their own child. And
I buried my own child.
I didn't.
And
you know what?
as
long as I've known you, Howard, I did not know that. And that as soon as he said that it's like a knife went through my heart. I don't even know what I would do if I have one child, and his name is Mason, and he's my world, and I don't even know what I do. And the strength that you have to get through those moments is absolutely incredible. And if you got a good support system, it also helps as well. And again, I didn't know that, and my sincere condolences on that.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I've done that, and I just didn't bury her. I buried my grandson as well, my unborn grandson. So his name's on our tomb, where she's laid to rest. And yeah, it's one. And being a single parent, of course, about this kind of. If you're a single parent out there, I had sole custody of my both of my children. You have to deal with everything. I mean, I've had my daughter. I was raising her since 2006, and she was 24 years old when she passed, and that was in 2019. I basically seen her from. I mean, I was there when, of course, when she was a baby and everything. But raising her on your own and actually seeing her grow from a child, an infant, to an adult woman, and losing that. And that bond that you had with your child. It's really hard. It's every day it's something you deal with.
Yeah, it's I just found out something yesterday about my son. My son might be moving to Italy in September.
Nice.
And
free pizza.
when he first told me, my heart nearly fell out of my chest.
Yeah.
Because I have been a single father for a very long time, and he's got a job offer in Italy. a friend of ours that we met in Cuba about 4 years ago. He's one of the top chefs here in Ontario, or outside of Toronto, and they're opening up a resort in Italy. And my son recently got a job at a restaurant. My son is also he's also into trading and all that stuff. So he does a lot of that stuff as well. But he's been offered a job to go out there to Italy to work in the resort. And
Awesome.
It's a great
Daddy,
opportunity.
He's spreading his wings, Daddy.
No,
Let him
yeah,
fly.
I know. And it's hard. It's hard. You know, his birthday's coming up at the end of May, and he's going to be 23 years old. And it's hard to believe that he's going to be 23, you know. And I remember the first day he was born, and he was, you know, small little guy. And it was funny because when he came out of my ex-wife, he started crying, and he was crying really, really badly. And so I grabbed hold of him. I spoke to him. Bam, his voice stopped. The crying stopped. The crying
same
stopped
thing happened with me and
instantly.
Jessica.
Yeah,
That's the same bond. And I just looked at her and I said, "I'm your daddy." She was screaming. I was, "I'm your daddy," and she just
and
was it.
oh
It
yeah,
stopped.
it's one of those moments where, unless you have a child, it's unexplainable. On when you're in that room and you're seeing your child being born, you just can't explain it. And but anyhow, other than that,
It has a lot to do with the paranormal. I mean, actually, what I was going with this is it's more of lines of the bond that you create between a parent and child, a mom or dad, or with their child, is strong. It's a very strong bond. And that's why I believe, like the situation we was talking before the show, I live in my house is haunted. And it's not just my daughter that comes in. It's a lot of other things that come in and out of my home. Matter of fact, we were just trying to debunk. I still say what I think what it was, but we was doing a show and someone seen an orb pass through me, like right in front of me. I do have pictures of when I was doing another show a while back. I had a full body apparition that it was more of a big apparition that formed right here, and you can see its actual face and everything. On pictures, it's one thing, but if you look at the video, you can see its eyes blinking and everything. It was right here, and I didn't even realize it till after the show. So I mean, these things are always around me. So
are you one of those people? Are you one of those people that would do an investigation in your home, or you stay away from that?
If I want to test equipment out, I'll try it out. But as for investigating your home, I'm at the belief that if I was to investigate and present the evidence that I have of an investigation of my own home, a lot of people could say I faked it, or it could be a lot of misrepresentation in that aspect. I had 3 teams that came in. And I'll let them investigate. I'll let them tell me their findings. I'll let them, and to, let me know if my place is haunted, my home is haunted. And every one of them said, this place is extremely active. I mean, it was off the charts with it. So that's all I needed, because I live it every day. I see it every day. So I know I'm not going crazy or nothing like that. I might be already a little crazy, but not even more crazy. Let's put it that way.
It's a good crazy.
It is.
It's a good crazy. Lex, go ahead.
Is it freaky living in the house with all that activity going on constantly, or is it something that you're definitely just okay with it? It's not any. Does any of it seem dangerous, like activity wise, or?
Goodness. It's not freaky. You grow accustomed to it. Actually. There's more, like I said, there's more than one spirit here. It's more than just my daughter that's here. There's a couple of spirits here. I was told there was like 10 spirits in my home. They come in and out. So you grow accustomed to it. What I mean by accustomed to, you got to be able to take a surprise, something that happens in front of you. You got to be able to accept that surprise. As paranormal investigators, we know we don't run away from a ghost. We run towards a ghost. A lot of people run and get scared. I mean, we're like firemen. Instead of running away from a fire, we run towards that fire. A prime example is I was coming out of my bedroom and walking into the kitchen, and my kitchen table, my dinette table chair just pulled out, and it just pulled out completely and faced me. You know, it's like, okay. And when I did is went back and pushed it back underneath the thing and went ahead and got me a glass of water and went right back to sleep. I mean, it's kind of stuff that you see constantly. They do tear up a lot of things around here in my home. Had a brand new vehicle, drained the battery. Brand spanking new. The sticker on the side of the glass. It only had, when I first purchased the thing, only 18 miles on the odometer. I drove it up in the yard, and about a week later, the battery was completely drained. So I mean, it's like these things are drained, all kind of batteries. I put in a new central air and heat in my home, and it broke. And I had to have it, of course, it's under warranty and everything, had him come out and fix it. And the guy pulls out the part. He says, he's never seen this before. I said, okay, yeah, well, now you see it, you can keep the part and show your friends. I mean, that kind of stuff that happens. For me to get my attention, they break things in my home. So, that gets frustrating. That does get frustrating.
Yeah, I can imagine. So, Fearfest. Oh, my Fearfest. I think I think everybody know that Fearfest is coming up in September, but what I would like to know, where did that idea come from? How did it begin? What's your goal with Fearfest?
Part of it? Which part of it?
The whole event itself.
The event was actually created by Stephen Woodard. Yeah. This is going to be the third event that through Fearfest that we're doing.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
We took the idea from Stephen gave us Fearfest along with the networks and everything. But this is going to be an annual event that we're doing here, and it's in one of the most haunted cities in the world, and it's in one of the most haunted states in the United States. Probably one of the most haunted states in the United States, which is Louisiana. Mm-hmm. This event has never been done. Any type of event, paranormal event, has never been done in the state of Louisiana or in New Orleans. So this is going to be we have festivals for everything in New Orleans. We have a strawberry fest. We have a seafood festival. We have all kind of festivals for everything.
Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, exactly.
Matter of fact, this weekend is Jazz Fest. Jazz Fest brings in about 3 to 6 million people every year. Oh, so wow. I mean, yeah, this is nothing to sneeze at. This is something that it's usually we're a great host city here. Oh, she drinks. Okay.
Now this is the long time joke with Lex, because he always has a 1 liter or 2 liter bottle that you have.
This one is 2, I think.
2 liters. 2. So he drinks right from the bottle. And just tell the audience, if people don't know.
Why dirty a glass? Why dirty a glass?
Well, yes, that's true. But tell people how many liters of that you drink a week, Lex, for people that don't know.
On average, 14. I drink a full 2 liter bottle every day.
And your kidneys and bladder and all still work.
Yep. I also drink about 5 cans of 3 cans of Monster.
I'm not psychic or anything, but I see that Lex in the future you'll be having gallstones.
I would actually like him to go to the doctors and have a physical and see what his blood is like, because it's got to be Dr. right Pepper. Off the charts.
Oh, it's got to be. I drink 5
it's
cups
weird. It's weird. Yeah. It's weird. We got these ingredients that we've never seen in blood before. Yeah, that would be the doctor.
I know. My diet's bad.
What?
Yeah. So with the Fearfest, and for people that are in the room that don't know, I will be a speaker at the Fearfest myself. So I've never been to New Orleans, so I'm really, really looking forward to seeing it. Obviously, I'm looking.
This is a bucket city list. A lot of people come, and we're giving them the opportunity to come here. Oh, that's one of my hosts on the show.
Here comes trouble. PDX. Here comes trouble.
We love
Here
Amy.
Comes trouble, and she knows she's trouble.
Yeah, she knows the female version of me.
Yeah.
She is. She's a female version of me. I mean, she is. I mean, we think too much alike.
Well, it's
scary.
funny. I never thought about that. What Kara's saying. Matt and Lex are kind of the same, because Matt has a lot of energy drinks every day. I think at one point he was drinking 12 to 14 a day. Like that is a lot of, like, I like my energy drinks every once in a while. I used to be bad. I was having one a day, and then I stopped. And I don't know if people know this, but when you drink this type of drink, and if you stop, you actually get a withdrawal from not drinking it. You actually get headaches and stuff like that, and it's pretty bad. So I'm sure if Lex stopped, he would go through withdrawal big time. So because
you had to wean them off.
This would depend, because it's the caffeine that gives you the headache if you don't have it. So if you supplement that, you'll be fine. Now, for me, I have 5 cups of coffee a day, 2 cans of Monster a day, and 2 liters of Dr. Pepper. So I would die if I had.
You know what?
Like you and my wife are just about the same. That woman drinks. That's where I said, "Baby, you drink water? No, that's nasty.
Yeah,
water's nasty."
Yeah,
milk.
I have this tumbler that when I go to the gym, I have at least 4 or 5 while I'm at the gym of water. But I'm telling you right now, Lex is not going to make it past 45.
People said I wouldn't make. People said I wouldn't make it past 30, and I'm still here.
What's that, Howard?
Yeah, I said he's 44 now. So I mean, that's
yeah, and he's right. People have said that he wasn't going to make it past 30. And but hey,
with Emmy saying, "Holy crap!" and you can sleep at night. I'm gonna be honest with you. People with ADHD, which I have adult ADHD. You can drink all the caffeine in the world, and it'll knock you out. I mean, you go right to sleep like a baby. But you drink something that's non-caffeinated, like milk or water or something, you're wide-eyed, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed. You're ready to go out there and take on the world.
Yeah.
So caffeine actually brings you down.
Yeah, interesting. Lex?
So I want to move on to investigation side of things. Is there anything you can tell us about your last investigation, or about one that you've got coming up?
We already discussed that, I think, about 2 nights ago. But
no, that's a different topic.
That's inside joke.
It's an investigation, but
it is.
Was
this
a
lot of work?
Well, let me ask you this: did you capture any evidence?
I don't know if I did, but
oh my God, that's awful.
I know. I did. My last investigation. Oh goodness. We did it actually. I can't disclose the location. It's in Louisiana. And I can tell you this much: it was one time. It was a sort of like a nunnery, and they took wayward mothers in. Back then, if you was pregnant and single, that was shunned. You couldn't do that. You couldn't be out in public like that without being proper. You had to be married and everything. And so they'd send them off to these like nunnery type things, convents and things of that nature, and they would give birth to their child. And this was also sort of like an orphanage also. After they give birth, some of these women didn't want their babies, and they just left them there. We did an investigation there, and that place was off the chart. I mean, we was able to capture a shadow figure that actually stood in the doorway, and just watched us, and just walked off after they got bored watching what we were doing. We had a lot of great EVPs from them. It was just amazing. It was just amazing. I want to go back and actually do a full maybe 24-hour lockdown on this place if I can, and just put cameras everywhere and just see what I can capture out of this place. Because I tell people this every day. Just because you hear these big name places, like you've got your Penhurst and you have your Waverly and you got Gettysburg Battle, and that's fine and dandy. Okay, that's great to have those on your bucket list and want to go there, but try investigating in your own backyard. because there's things that can be there that could be the next Waverly Hills, it could be the next Paris or Gettysburg, and that's what I found here in Louisiana. You can't kick a rock, to be honest with you, without a story being behind it. There's so many things that it's paranormal related. I mean, you once you come into the city of New Orleans, it's like the thickness in the air. You can actually feel it. I've had people come in from Indiana and Arizona and Los Angeles, and they walk through and you can actually, it's so thick with energy. So that's another big thing about us. But but that's about I can investigate my next door neighbor if I wanted to and find things there. If I really need it, was hard up for a real investigation. But we usually take on investigations that someone calls us and they need any help. We try to help them out as we can.
Yeah,
So
I'm a huge believer, and I will always say this as long as I'm in this field, that I don't care where you go, who you're with, where you are, whatever. There's paranormal everywhere.
Mhm.
It's just everywhere. It's just a matter if they want to speak to you or not, and or they want to, whatever. But I just want to go back to Fearfest for a minute.
Sure.
Why don't you do this? Why don't you tell us some of the guests that are going to be there, some of the vendors, some of the speakers? I know I mentioned I was going to be a speaker, but some of the activities that are going on. Why don't you get into that a little bit so people know?
Sure, I'll give you a little sneak peek because I'm still adding to the list of people that we're looking at some celebrities right now. Waiting for some callbacks and actually working out prices and stuff like that for them.
Yeah.
But some of the guest speakers, of course, we have Brian Laverty.
Yes.
Celebrity.
Who's that?
Right.
That's nuts.
No.
When Howard called me and he goes, "Brian, you want to be a speaker?" I go, "Why?" Why do you want me?
Well, you're representing Parapost and you also represent Global Ghost Hunters.
Yeah,
that's something.
Yeah, I was honored when he asked me. So,
a couple of them, Ernie and Denise Pack, former tour guides at Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Yeah. They're going to be there. Some of Scott Wilson, if you ever seen his show Paranormal Jackass, he's going to be there. He's going to be our MC actually, so he's going to be master of our ceremony.
Cool. I didn't know that.
He is.
You got Shannon coming?
Shannon will be there. She's a scriber, which she does automatic writing. And she was referred to me by another guest speaker he's my mentor, my idol, so to speak.
We had Shannon
Carl Johnson.
When did we have Shannon on last week? I believe. Yeah.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah, we had Shannon on the show last.
She's quite lovely. She's quite lovely.
Very nice.
But we have Carl Johnson that's coming, demonologist. He's been in the field for over 40 plus years. If you ever seen a paranormal show, something you like, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, he's been on every freaking show that you could possibly think of. Cool. He's going to be there. Shannon Rogers. You can actually see Shannon's story, who she is. It's called A Ghost Ruined My Life. And it's episode 1, season 1, very first show. And that's Shannon. That's Shannon Rogers, and what she's experiencing. She's well known in the paranormal community. We're going to have an actual vampire, because New Orleans is known for his vampirism. He is a real vampire. He does drink blood. Okay, he's the real deal. He's going to be there. He's going to be a guest speaker with his vampire. I mean, Anne Rice, Interview with a Vampire. That's what she wrote it here in New Orleans. I mean, she, of course, and like I said, vampirism is big in New Orleans. That's where a lot of murders come from. Also. I ain't going to mention none of that. But anyway, also, we're going to have a voodoo priest that's going to be speaking. We're going to have a lot of voodoo. We are going to do a voodoo ceremony. And I was going to see about charging, like, for people to come in and see the voodoo ceremony. But the Mambo got really upset with me. And I'm not crossing anything that has anything to do with voodoo. I mean, I believe in it. I believe it works. So I said, nope, we're not going to do it then. We're not going to do that part. But what we're going to do is they're going to have voodoo priests and priestesses there, and they will do voodoo blessings for you.
Oh, okay.
So if you want to come in and do a voodoo blessing for you. So we're going to have that there.
So maybe what I can do is if the person doesn't mind, I'll pull them aside and get some tips on how to to do it because I have a few people that I.
Well, I have a Grigri bag. I have a Grigri bag. I mean, I believe in that stuff. I do.
Yeah.
And different Grigri bags are made for different things. And matter of fact, Voodoo Authentica, that's one of our sponsors. Haunted History Tours of New Orleans is one of our sponsors. Hilton Hotels, they're one of our sponsors. We're getting a bunch of people that's sponsoring this thing. Creole Tomato, which is going to be selling food there out of the concessions. If you want to know what the type of food we're going to have here, you can look up the menu, which is called, name of the company that actually going to be doing it is called Creole, Creole Tomato. It's not spelled like tomato it's spelled Cajun way. It's Tomateaux, tomato. So, and you can look at their menu and see the stuff that they're going to be serving to people, selling to people. My wife, of course, she's like Lex. She likes her coffee. She likes those iced coffees. She's big time in iced coffees, and she'll drink the monster coffee drinks and all that stuff. And I think that's why she's got some problems with the way she is right now. But anyway, I'm talking to 2 different coffee companies that are local here, and the first one that gets back with me that we're going to sell coffee there exclusively, iced coffee, or any type of coffee drinks.
Well, there's a famous one out there, right? It's the company. It's Buy My Coffee or something like that, or it's a company like that. I believe they seem to be pretty popular.
Right now, we're talking to 2 that's local here. That's it's called PJ's Coffee and CC's Coffee.
Okay.
And anything that they have, a frappa, lacquer, mocha, joker, whatever the things are, whatever they drink.
I don't know. I don't drink coffee.
I don't drink them either. So I drink it hot in a cup with a little cream and sugar, and there it is. That's coffee. But then
I had I tried coffee for the first time about 2 months ago, and I drank it for about 7 days because I was doing a fast, and I stopped drinking it right after that 7 days. I haven't had a coffee since. So coffee and me just don't mix at all.
I'll drink it occasionally. I drink it in the wintertime, but not in the summer months. I don't.
Yeah.
My drink of choice actually is Crystal Light. I drink Crystal Light because I'm diabetic and stuff like that, and I just want to cut out the sugar and stuff like that. So I drink water, Crystal Light, and stuff of that nature. I don't drink coffee as much as I did before because it raises my sugar levels up higher.
So are you still having Go Static?
Go Static will be performing there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We're doing up to everything, fixing it up. Matter of fact, they had a new video we just aired this past Friday night. I believe
yes,
it was.
I saw it. Yeah.
They're awesome. They're awesome. Matter of fact, they're doing some kind of concert in Ohio, some reformery or something up there, and they're coming straight here. That's they're actually going to be debuting their new song at our event.
Cool.
And they're starting their tour at our event. So yeah, it's going to be awesome that they're having that. We're also looking at another band. We're looking at. We had them on recently last week. Matter of fact, Burning Red. He can play the guitar. This guy.
Oh, is that? I was watching a little bit of that. That was the guy that was playing the guitar the other night on your show.
Mm-hmm. And we had a video that the Red who sings, and she's an awesome singer. I mean, God, this woman, she can pass. If she wanted to, she can sing Adele. That's how good she is. I mean, this woman, she's got a set of pipes on it. I mean, she's amazing. Matter of fact, I got invited to go see them this Friday coming up for Cinco de Mayo. So I'm going to go up there and check them out in concert and see how they are. So that's another thing we're doing. We're going to be doing some investigations. You'll be able to purchase tickets to go on a real investigation in New Orleans. We're going to be doing 2 here, and we call them parishes here, but a lot of people call them counties. About north, probably what you call it, provinces. We're going to do 2 here, and we're going to do 2 in New Orleans area and in the French Quarter. So you'll be in the French, in the city itself, doing some real paranormal investigating. And by the way, I wanted to mention all this stuff that we're going to have 200 vending booths. We're selling vending booths and stuff like that right now. We're selling tickets right now. Right now, we're actually doing an early bird special. So if you go to our websites, it's Fearfest
Yeah.
Facebook. We have
Maybe-
Facebook. We have webpage. We have the event.
Maybe Courtney can put the link in the chat. That would be great for where you can buy your tickets. There
Yes,
you go.
yes.
Thank you, Courtney. Yeah, people just go over there. And if you've ever wanted to go to New Orleans, if this has been a spot that you wanted to go to, why not do it? Go to New Orleans. You get to go to New Orleans first, which is, from what I understand, a fabulous place to visit anyways. But then on top of that, you can go to Fearfest and
You come
have
see
a
me.
great time. And Howard, of course. And
But
you know,
there's a bunch of teams, a bunch of people that you'll see that's going to be there.
yeah.
It's going to be on podcast shows and stuff like that.
It's going to be
have
fun.
a lot of people there. It's going to be.
It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I know people have made fun of me about this because I said it on your show, Howard, that I'm looking forward to going down to Bourbon Street. I know
I'm
it's
willing
not...
to take you down Bourbon Street. We're going to hit you. Look, me and you're going to go hang out at St. Anne. I'm gonna just walk away from you and see what happens. That's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I'm not a real big drinker, to be honest. But I got a feeling. I got a feeling after this trip, I might be a drinker. So
yeah, you will be. You will be a drinker. Hey, Chrissy was never a drinker either.
Yeah.
Either,
yeah.
and she came to my wedding we had here, and never drank. And when she left, she loves daiquiris now. That woman can't. She wants to buy a daiquiri machine now. So she loves daiquiris. So I mean, that's another thing. But all proceeds to this event, it's all going to nonprofit.
Yeah, Courtney, there is there a link to that, or is there a link to that? Because I know that is that people can go and see that. Is there a webpage for that?
For Jessica Marie Pitre Foundation?
Yes. Is there a website?
We have a Facebook page right now. The website we're still working on. I had two guys working on it. It's like a monkey doing it with a football. They can't get it right for some reason. They want to do it perfect, which I understand because it's for a great cause.
Yeah. So maybe if we can put that, I think I might even have that up in the description. I think I do actually, but if we don't, if you don't mind, Courtney, if you can put that Facebook page up as well, that would be great. And so people can go over and follow that because obviously it's a good cause. So Lex, you want to go ahead there?
Yeah. So moving back into the field a bit more, I wanted to know what your favorite piece of equipment in the paranormal field is, and to counter that, is there any particular piece that you really don't like being used?
Okay. My favorite piece of equipment, and I have actually three. The very first favorite piece of equipment I had to say is myself. Go with instinct. What you feel. 9 times out of 10, what you feel is what you're going to actually. You'll know if something's there or not. It's just that it's not being psychic or anything. It's just a feeling that you have. Anybody, you walk into a room and you know someone's staring at you or something. People feel that kind of stuff. And I would have to say that would be my first piece of equipment is what I feel when I walk into a room. My next 2 pieces of technical equipment would have to be probably my EDI and a mail reader. I like to spread mail readers around, and I use my EDI for stuff. And that's what I like to use. My least piece of equipment I don't like to use is probably a K2 meter. K2 is so unreliable. I like to just use them as test stuff. If I'm just going to test something out, but that's to me. People like it. I'm not going to say it's anything totally negative about it, but it does pick up a lot of false positives.
Yeah, so. I agree. And I've said this a number of times on the show in the last few months that I was probably, I'm not saying I was a huge fan of it, but I did use it. But then I found out that one, the false positive stuff, and it can be set off like very, very easily. And also people might not know this, but there's an actual real K2, and then a lot of what people have is the fake one, because there are 2 different styles out there. and one is the real one. One is China. I think I don't even know where it's made. I think it's made in China or something like that. And that's actually the fake one. And so there's actually two different kinds out there. But then on top of that, I recently found out, I'm not sure if Lex is the one that told me this. I can't remember who told me this, but you can actually drop a penny inside it and manipulate it.
Yeah, I told you that. Yeah.
Yeah. And, because of the copper, it's just, I really think the K2 should be moved aside and not really used.
So people
anymore.
still swear by it. People still swear by it. But I mean, it is what it is, and I respect that. I mean, if that's what they like. Sure. I mean, that's their personal preference. I mean, that's the way I see it. But me personally, I use it. It's like if I had someone who's actually starting out in the paranormal field, who's just coming along just as a guest, so to speak, investigator for us with that. I'll give them a K2 or something just to let them try it out and see what they come up with. But as for doing an investigation myself, that's the last tool I'll pull out of the box. I mean, I'll leave them things in there. They'll grow dust on them.
Yeah. And this is, and I've known a lot of people to do that as well. They use it just to go around the place they're at and checking for magnetic fields in whatever the building or whatever you're in. So I try to use that for that now, mainly. But again, I might pull it out every so often, but I generally stay away from it now. And I'm getting to the point right now where I'm really pulling away from a lot of the equipment. And you're right, Howard, yourself is, your biggest tool. And obviously the camera, and I'll use the voice recorder. Yeah, we're all well. I think we can be all perfectly honest that we're all a little bit of tools being in this field. To be honest, I think we're all a little bit crazy. And you said something earlier that I think you said something earlier that I thought was funny, and it's true. That we're the type of people that run towards the noises, not the other way around. So it's funny, but there's something I wanted to ask you, and I just lost my complete train of thought. I can't recall. I can't even recall what I had a perfect question. I can't even recall, but Jesus, I can't even recall. Lex, you want to go ahead?
Yeah. What is? So first of all, how long have you been doing this for? Sorry.
A little over 40 years on and off.
Oh, wow. So plenty of time. And in that time, is there a place you've been to that really stands out as like a favorite location for you?
Oh boy. They're all favorite locations. Actually it's not even in Louisiana. It's quite unique. Matter of fact, I just looked it up. Matter of fact, listen, I'm gonna make sure I want to get the right name for it, because if I don't, there we are. Okay, it's actually in Vicksburg, Mississippi, and it was it's called the Duff Green Mansion.
Okay.
Been there. That place was so freaking active. We've got video of a little girl. Little girl had passed away in there. She, I don't know if it was typhoid or something. She had rheumatic fever, some scarlet fever. Something. She passed away of something, and she haunts the place. And we have her actually in. You could see her little outfit and everything. Just kept peeking around the corner like that. Just kept peeking. Half her body just sticking out the doorway, just checking us out and everything. We've had books that were thrown off the shelves in that place. The EVPs that were coming out of that place was phenomenal. We've got orbs and all. Matter of fact, my wife was sitting there. We was out in the rose garden, and she was just filming, just sitting there filming. I'm standing behind her, watching her, just walking. At the time, she was just my fiance, and she was just filming. And you couldn't see nothing in front of us. I mean, it was just the garden. But you look at the mirror. I mean, the window, the reflection in the window. And you seen someone was a Confederate soldier just walked right in front of her, just like that. And it was like totally amazing, that evidence that we caught there. But it was during the Civil War and the siege of Vicksburg, and the Duff Green Mansion. The guy was actually smart. He created and made it into a hospital at the time. He just said, "Well, I'm gonna bring in soldiers." And of course, he brought in Confederate and he brought in Northern soldiers, Yankee soldiers, and of course, the North is not going to bomb their own soldiers or anything. So they bombed everything around this place. I think they only had one cannonball that they actually struck the building, and they have it actually plexiglassed off and everything, where you can see where the cannonball came in through, and that's up in the attic. It is a bed and breakfast. They're priced very, very reasonable. But amazing people that work there. They give you a tour of the place. They dress in period clothing to give you the tour of the place, and they tell you the story of the place. So it's quite an amazing place to go to. And I mean, I'm from Louisiana. I should be promoting Louisiana, but that was the most amazing place that I've been to. I mean, I've also been to Myrtle's Plantation and caught some amazing evidence.
Oh, wow.
But it was all visual.
Yeah, that's one place I'd love to go to. I'd love to go to that location. And I did remember my question I was going to ask. You were talking about the K2 and new people in the field.
Mhm.
What would, and obviously you've been in this field for a long time and you've done a lot of different things. What would be your advice for somebody that's coming into the paranormal world or community on what would be your advice to them on how to, get into this field, starting a group, all those wonderful things? What would be your advice?
My advice would be run, because this is expensive. If you have any hobbies outside of this, go to that, do that, then just kind of tinker with this. Don't go into it but seriously, it's a very expensive hobby. Very expensive hobby. Really. I mean, it is what it is. It's a hobby. We can't say anybody tells you that you're a professional, they're a professional, tell them to get out of that face and laugh at them. If someone comes up to you and they want to charge you to investigate your home, laugh at them and say no, because a true paranormal investigator will not charge you anything.
Yeah.
We do this for the science. We do it because we love it. But if you're getting into it, I guess the first thing, if like I said, save a lot of money, because you got to get a lot of equipment. Start buying equipment. Start reaching out to other paranormal investigators and their experience, and see what type of equipment works best for them. So that way you don't get steered away from buying something you don't need. Because there's a lot of gadgets and gadgets out there that I got to have that. I got to have that. And if you got everything, fine, go ahead and get it. But if you're starting out, just get with the basic stuff. Then if you want to start a team, I would just start reaching out to people that are like-minded, and that's in your area. Because there are 9 times out of 10 there are someone in your area that's like-minded like you are, and want to investigate, and just reach out and say, let's go out one day. Let's work and it's all trial and error. It's all about chemistry. Who you can work with and who you can't work with, and of course always be willing to learn, because it's always a learning thing. It's never just I know it all, because if someone tells you that they know it all, they're lying to you too, because nobody knows it all. Only way you're going to know it all is if you die. I mean, that's it.
Well, that's true. I always say the only way we're going to get all the answers is once we pass on. And, and it's great advice. And I would that would probably be the first thing I would say. Run in the other direction.
Run.
So I always say that, have a plan, what you want to do, where you want to take it. If you're planning to do videos, if you're planning just for your own self and stuff like that. Right. And I think you really need to discover what kind of investigator you want to be as well. I always put paranormal investigators in 3 categories.
But if you don't have the funds to investigate, there's things that you can do to investigate a home or do an investigation where you don't have to. It's not expensive.
It's all in one. It's all in one. You got a voice recorder on here. You got a camera on here. You got everything on here, and
I mean, you can go
And,
completely old school.
yeah.
I mean, complete old
Yeah.
school is like with a digital. I would use
Pen
a
and
cassette
paper.
recorder. Yeah, pen and paper. A digital, just a regular cassette player. That works the best. Baby powder works good for if you want to, just seeing about something walk. It works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. But I mean, then it's a mess you got to clean up. But yeah, you can do it that way. Pictures. If you got an old camera. 35 millimeter works great. Digital works even better. I mean, to me, I think a lot of people are going back to the 35 millimeter to take pictures and develop it that way rather than just a digital. Digital works fine. I mean, if it's very active, you could actually see it up in real time. But yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are going, which I'm thinking about doing, is going back to the old 35 millimeter and rather than digital, because I have digital cameras as well. And just take pictures, just picture, audio, picture, and that's what it is. It's all investigating is.
You know what? I think obviously us being in the field, and Lex is fairly new in the field, and you've been in the field for 40 years. I've been in the field for over 10 years. And, I think what I'm seeing lately, and tell me if I'm wrong, guys, that lately I've been seeing a lot of these new investigators coming out and not being respectful in the place that they're investigating.
No, I've seen that a lot too.
I think that is the biggest thing that these new investigators are not learning. That it'd be and I think Lex said this once. Would you go into somebody else's house or in a coffee shop or a restaurant and just start yelling out somebody's name or telling them to speak to you? You wouldn't do that. So why are you doing it to the spirits?
Right. I mean, the best way to put it, I tell people, to be honest with you, Bryan, is that I tell them, if spirits are people, they're people, and they're just not here any longer. I mean, they're here in spirit, but they're not here in this meat suit any longer.
Yeah.
And if I was to go to a cemetery and your mother was buried there, would you want me to be disrespectful to your mother?
Oh, do we have a story for you, Howard?
So, I mean, I can tell you something too on that. I mean,
Lord, me and Lex did a show last year. It's called Betrayal and Fakers. I don't know if you've seen it, but we talked about a certain individual on that show for a good 45 minutes, and he is not somebody that we care about very much, and there's other people that we know don't care about him either, and this guy was so disrespectful. He went into a graveyard, sat on the actual burial, and leaned up against the headstone and pretended that he owned the place. And trying to communicate with someone that he shouldn't have been even trying to communicate with in the first place. But we talked about that, and lo and behold, he's fairly popular on YouTube, and lo and behold, a day later, he put a video out on Twitter because somebody obviously went to him and said something, and he does not like us very much, to say the least. And I
don't care what his name is. If you show disrespect like that, because when you do an investigation, that's the next thing. Love and light. Always show respect, and it's always about love and light. Don't go in there and disrespect, because it's going to wind up, and I hope this guy gets an attachment. I mean, a bad one. And I mean, just let him follow him around for a couple of weeks. And see how that goes.
It was even talked about on Nando and Matt's show today, that what I've always done right from the beginning, when I go into location, and Lex has seen it firsthand too, I always introduce myself, and I introduce everybody I'm with, and just to show a sign of respect, and we're here for the right reasons, not the wrong reasons. And it's up to you if you want to talk to us or not. We're not going to push it like some people do. Antagonize is definitely not the way to go. I think you're only asking yourself for trouble, especially if there's not necessarily something nice in the place. I don't know what's going on with the new generation, but they feel like they have to disrespect in order to get responses.
Well, I blame one person in particular, and I'll say his name. I'll call him out. Is Zach Baggins. Everything you go in there is, oh, this is a demon. This is the devil in this place. And this is this in this place. And he goes in there and he screams at him and yells at him and shows so much disrespect. And I think that's where they're learning all this from. It's not the way to do things.
I completely agree with you. I think the generation that we grew up with paranormal stuff was respectful. Obviously, it's fake as fuck, but we watched it, and that's how we learned to. That's how we learned to conduct ourselves, because it was being done on TV that way. And I think you're right. I think the newer generation of people are growing up on Ghost Adventures, and Zach Baggins is, his dog shit TV show. So, and yeah, I wholeheartedly believe it's because of him. I've always said it. I'll never stop saying it. Zach Baggins is a lesion on this fucking community. He needs to be removed.
Well, the patrol here had a little, they told us about a month ago that they had a little bit of a run-in. They had what was it? Do you remember the story?
They tried to the cease and desist letter, didn't they, or something like that, didn't they? They sent
somebody
him,
from either
stop
Zach,
talking about him. Yeah,
either Zach did it or somebody from his crew. I guess emailed YouTube and were demanding that video to be taken down, and it had something to do with Zach. And so, anyhow, other than that, I agree.
I
with
will
you
quickly
completely.
add. Yeah, I would add, because I don't have a faker this week, so I'll add it here just quickly. If Zach would like to take our videos down because we talk about that useless tosspot all the time, you can email us or come on here and defend yourself, you twat.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lex, it's supposed to have been with me and Bryan, but when Lex jumps in, it's a whole different other story. Go ahead, Lex.
That's right. This is oh yeah. No, hey, listen, we don't have a problem saying people's names on this show. And I know you said I'm going to say his name. We have no problems with people. Or Lex has no problem saying people's name. I don't either. I try to avoid it, but Lex, no. Which is fine, which makes this show great, and that's why it works. But Jody Dean from the Hunting the Dead, or whatever it's called, it was him that did that. And I think another problem that we had with it, he benefited from it with money, and that's where we really have a problem with it. And it was and I can tell you who it was about. He was sitting on the grave of that woman, that Netflix special, the documentary.
Shanann Watts. He was sat on her grave. Yeah,
the man that he killed his wife and killed his two kids. And it was a documentary on Netflix as well. And
so obviously Jody had to profit off of it. So he went straight down there, set up a little beach towel, and sat on her grave.
Yeah, I believe Carlos the Fam also did that as well. But he did it in there, actually, in front of her home.
He went to her house and gave a gift to the front door. And the weird thing is, he filmed it. And I'm like, well, it's not a sincere gift then.
No.
I don't film me going to my nan's grave and putting stuff down and then put it on YouTube and be like, I'm just showing my respects, guys. No, you're doing it for clout and recognition, which means you're also an asshole, Carlos.
Yeah. And then pretending that he saw a child up in the window and saying that he saw two kids up in the window, which was a load of crap.
He's one of the biggest tools on YouTube, I swear to God.
Yeah. But it is what it is. And the only way that we're going to change it is people like us continue doing what we're doing, and hopefully, somehow that gets recognized and people start following this instead of following that crap.
Yeah. So, and this is also why I'm 100% supporting all the debunking channels on YouTube. This is why I support them, because a lot of the people that came out, do you remember like last year when 4 channels came out, UGUE, a couple others admitted they were faking stuff. It's because they were getting a lot of pressure from people watching the debunking shows. Mm-hmm. And they're like, okay, yeah, we are faking it. We can't hide it anymore and all this stuff. And I was like, that's why I always support them, because they're also helping us weed out them. Just get rid of them.
You have to be a skeptic. You have to be a true skeptic doing this. I mean, you do. I mean, you can believe, but you have to be skeptical about everything. You got to be willing to debunk it first. I did a show this past Friday night, and someone said that they swore that, and everybody kept saying, there's an orb that passed in front of me. Well, at the time, I was taking off this splitter off my computer, and that's what I keep saying. I mean, there's a lot of people that say it was an orb. I still say what it was. This is the splitter, okay, and it's got two little ends on the end of it, okay. And I picked it up, pulled it off like that, and I went like this. And when I did that, it looked. I think the camera
caught the end.
Caught the little silver parts, and it looked like orbs that were streaking past me. And I was the first one to say, "Oh, it's this. You saw this. You didn't. There was no orb." And then, like I said, I would debunk anything that. I'm a big debunker fan too. I'd rather debunk it and be truthful with the kind. Because to be honest, guys, the only thing we have in this field is our reputation.
Yeah, integrity as well.
And if we sit there and we start faking evidence, then that's gone. That's gone. So there's no sense even trying to even, being out. You could do it on your own, but if anything that you want to, show the community, it's going to be looked at as it's fake. So.
Yep. And thank you, Liz, and thank you, Courtney, for your comments, and everybody else in the room as well. But this has been great. I really enjoyed this, Howard, and it's nice to see this side of you. We got the calm side today, and I like it.
Right now. No.
I like it. I like it a lot. But if you want to stick around, I know Lex has something. We usually at this part of the show we usually do the fakers, but Lex doesn't have anybody he's going to do this week, but he does have something about I'm not sure what it is, but Lex will talk about it. But before we do that, if you want to, do you want to stick around, Howard, for that?
Oh yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, I'd
okay.
love to stick around, sure.
So before we do that, we show this. And that is my that's my what do you call it? That's my cheap 10-minute put together video that is really quite cheesy.
I still love it. So bit different this week because I'm not singling out a person or group, mainly because I think I've done all of them at this point. So if you have a channel that I haven't spoke about yet and you think it's fake, send me a DM on Twitter with a link. I'll check them out so you don't have to. And maybe they'll feature on this segment in the future. As I said, I've done a few of them multiple times now. So if you guys have anyone, send them over my way and I'll look into it. But today I wanted to talk about apps, and a particular one I've seen make a shooting star into everyone's starting lineup of tools to use. And it is, has anyone heard of the Spirit Talker app?
Yes.
I will show you this.
I've seen some. Is that what it's called? The Spirit Talker?
Spirit Talker. And it is made by a paranormal group, I believe, called Haunted Finders. It looks like this.
Yes. I have seen that. Yep.
So it's really weird because I knew about this a while ago. I think back in my old working for that other company, Bryan days, when I first started.
Yeah.
That came out then. So it's been around a couple of years. But it's magically turned into everyone's first choice Ovulus on YouTube. I wonder if Haunted Finders are paying people to use it. I don't know. But it's come out massively. And now I want to show you something really fun about this, right? So if I turn it on, you'll see it's got these functions here. So you have this thing here. I don't know what that does. It just goes up and down. And then you have this, my favorite bit.
Let me expand you here so we can show you.
Might be scanning. Might be like a scanner. Might be showing it as scanning.
We
got a word for it already, but right, yes. As you can see, it's got this K2 meter on here. Right? Can anyone see the issue with that already? There's a K2 meter on the app. Can anyone tell me what's wrong with that?
One thing is a K2 app on a cell phone, and the cell phone triggers off the K2 meters every time you turn one. You can just pass a freaking cell phone in front of a K2 and go off.
And this is how you prove it doesn't work, because the EMF reader on here doesn't work.
Oh, really?
It doesn't go up
Really?
at all. Nope. It's still all off.
Okay. So
if
why
I
have it on there then?
So if I turn it, yeah, so it's on. So it's got a green light on it still. Oh, I got another thing through the device. Getting loads of stuff through the device. I wonder if it's because I'm next to a computer. So I've got Harold, I came from a dark place and need trust. That's what's just been sent through to me. Even though I'm not trying to communicate with anyone, but thank you guys for sending me
There you go. What is
some
need
much
trust
needed
about?
words. Now, the fun thing about this app, and the reason I'm bringing this up is, as you know, if you've watched this show, the last few weeks I've been binge watching Twin Paranormal's channel.
Yes.
To find out how they're doing stuff.
Tell me they don't use this.
They use this
Ugh.
all the time, and they don't notice this, right? And I think this is how I know they're over the top and exaggerating. They get the same phrase in almost every video. So I wonder how big the word bank is.
So
Like,
are you
and the
going to
word-
be able to plug? Are you going to be able to?
Wars. It'd probably be
Yeah.
4 wars.
So are you going to be able to plug that phone into your laptop and figure that stuff out? Maybe go into the background of it. What? Tell who?
Yeah.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. You are
I
not
did bad
real.
things.
I
did bad things. Right, so I'm clearly communicating with something, right?
Yeah.
Even though I'm.
What's that one? Contact. Okay.
And the funny thing is, when this goes off on the YouTubers shows, if you watch them all doing it, they'll get in one video, they'll get like us today, it will say contact, and they'll be like, "I'm going to leave." Okay, you can leave. And it's saying stuff like let's use the contact as the example. They go, "Oh my god, it said contact. We've made contact. Contact." Ah! Right. Then they get it in the next video where it says contact again, and in the next video, and they react the same way. None of them sit there and question. Every time we use this, we get the word contact, right? But again, you might think listening to me, but contact is a good thing you're getting through because you're going to hear it more than once because they're confirming contact. I was like, okay, cool. Potentially do. Okay, that's a fair one. But we also have another phrase on here called "I came from a dark place." Right? They will also get that exact sentence in any video. In fact, I got one on here the other day when I was messing around with it that I was watching a Twin Paranormal video at the same time and we got the same phrase.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
It's really weird. So, I've just got killing. That's a nice one. So, it's a weird thing. I don't
Nice.
understand.
Huh?
I don't understand why this is a thing. Now, apparently, someone I know on here has said the people that make the group who make this are a legit team. That tells me otherwise.
Yes.
This
What is the
tells-
group? Who's the group?
I think they're called Haunted Finders, or it's something with SG, but I can't remember the actual name. Seth, Killing, Quiet. No, I won't be quiet. So maybe I'm talking to the developers themselves. Maybe they're the ones telling me to stop telling them the secrets. What's in my hand?
There you go. Here you
It's
go. I have it on now. I've got She Screams, Harriet, and Howard.
She screams, Harriet, and Howard. So there bears no relevance to this, right? So I would. What's in your hand? That was a good one. I enjoyed that one. So yeah. So the group who make this, or who are in charge of it. Now I downloaded it for free. I don't know if anyone else has to pay for it. The fact it's
Is there
free
scratching going? Are you guys hearing scratching?
no.
I'm hearing scratching, like somebody's scratching on a wall.
No, nothing my end. Let us know in the chat if you're hearing it.
Wow, that's weird.
That is weird. So
Yeah, I'm getting scratching.
So the reason why this, I've got two theories. The group that make this have faked Robinson. Thank you. Everyone who people who made this, they faked everything they've ever done, or they don't fake everything they've ever done, but at some point down the road they got bored of evidence not being good enough and they chose to start doing fake stuff. $3.99. So I must have paid for it when I first downloaded it. So it's not the first time I've had it on my phone. Down. No, not down.
So
Like-
Nicole heard the scratching, but Kara didn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
getting,
weird.
It sounds. I'm getting scratching in my headphones. It's weird.
That's weird. What does
It
this
might
do?
be on me. Let me see. I'm gonna see if it's me.
No, it's not you. It's like I'm actually. It sounds like somebody's scratching a wall in my headphones.
Yeah, that's weird.
It is weird.
And
Anyhow.
just lastly, does anyone know how to, the magnetometer works, or an accelerometer works, or a gyroscope? Because the app apparently uses them.
It's just weird. There's so much going on with this app.
Yeah.
You
I
still
was like,
Casey.
no one knows how to use this stuff. What's this?
Let me just expand that for a minute. I have no idea what. There's a gyroscope.
I think that might be for like a scanning feature or something. I don't know. Just I guess it's something to make it look like it's
magnometer.
I guess it's giving us something. Oh, look, it's got another little bar that's going up and down, giving us something. You bought it $3.99, so I guess they're going to throw something on there to make it look like it's doing something on the phone.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so yeah, Spotted Ghost makes it. So, working with Haunted Finders, if I remember. I remember because they advertised it on Twitter. But this is weird. Like the fact that, what annoys me is there's going to be people in this chat. Maybe not in this chat. Maybe people who watch the replays, or if this clip gets stumbled around everywhere. There's going to be people that see the people using them in these videos, like these new investigators we talk about, who are going to be watching these channels, and this is the evidence they're going to turn in. This crap. Yeah. And it's so damaging. And that's why I don't like it. And again, if there is an argument to be had with apps, that if a spirit can manipulate a spirit box to say things through it, why can't it use the apps? It probably can. The downside is verification of that evidence. Because as you've seen there, I just let that run by itself, and we've got killing, died, I did bad things, I come from a dark place, I got a name, contact, I'm going to leave now. As a Twin Paranormal, Sam and Colby, TGIF, everyone could make content out of those 7 words I got through. And that's dangerous stuff to do in this field. It's not good enough for anybody to use. And the fact is, like, there's probably, if anything did manipulate my app then to talk to me, maybe I haven't got it yet, or maybe one of those words was a real thing. Everything else is just regurgitated jargon because it's preloaded in there. Whereas,
what do you think about Lex? What do you think about apps on phones? Just plain out investigation apps on phones. I mean, I believe in the cell phone. I mean, as in taking good pictures, and depending on the camera that you have on your phone, and good recordings, audio recordings. But what do you think about having just apps, ghost apps on your phone?
So Ghost, this is the thing. So I used to use, and I no longer do, is Necrophonic, because I don't have a spirit box. I couldn't afford one when I started doing this. I still haven't got around to buying one yet. So I was using that. And again, I did some things for it. I asked, what color shirt am I wearing? I got an answer through it. And I was like, okay, cool. But then everything else I asked, I didn't get anything for it. Not a single answer was correlating to what I was saying. Or I wouldn't say anything at all, and I would just leave it on. And eventually I kept getting the same sound patterns. And I was like, okay, that's a bit fishy. But it doesn't ask for my microphone use. So it's not recording me. It doesn't know what I'm saying, but it is regurgitating stuff. So I personally think that if you're a serious investigator, you wouldn't use apps. Especially ghost hunting designed apps. Because they are designed to do one thing, make you think you're talking to ghosts. Now, again, there is probably less than 10% of that stuff that you get from these apps is probably real. Very, probably even less than that. Probably less than 5% of it's going to be real. Because I do agree that if a spirit can manipulate a spirit box, if a spirit can manipulate a camera's battery to talk to us, then yes, they could easily infiltrate an app and speak through it. They could easily do it. But to get it to the point where it's that consistent, it's definitely not true. And that's why I don't like it. I was like, it's much better to use a spirit box. Again, one of my favorite tools. I would use it all the time. Spirit box I would trust because there's no words preloaded into it, designed by a human being to say things to you that are quite scary. Because that's the other thing. All these ghost apps spit out words like killing, devil, Satan, kill her, get out, all this stuff. Generic stuff you hear in TV shows. So You don't get that with a spirit box. I also think a voice recorder is perfect because no one's talking. So if you catch a voice on there, that's legit. No one, I mean, people might not believe you. Even if you film it with a camera, probably someone will say it's edited or someone will say it's one of you talking, but you know for a fact it wasn't. And that's all you need. And then you said it yourself earlier, is just yourself to experience this stuff in person. So apps is something I would stay away from. They are good to play around with, to learn what not to do. That's basically it. When I started doing it, that's what I did. I learned what not to do by watching the videos of these YouTubers doing it. I downloaded the same apps they did, and then I tested all the apps. And one of them, I think the one I really tore apart, the best one, was GhostTube SLS, where the SLS camera is bollocks. The colored screens they have for it are bollocks. Yeah. And the Ovilus, if you just leave it, it goes round in a circle. Eventually, you get back round.
Yeah, there's a guy on TikTok. He does lives almost every night. And it's not like I'm going to watch his lives. I go through my feed and it's always on my FYP page. And he uses the GhostTube SLS. And all these people that are watching his TikTok or his live now are believing the GhostTube SLS is real when it's not. Yeah, and that is the problem that we have with all these stupid fake apps that don't work. You're right, Lex. Maybe I wouldn't even give it 10%. Maybe
no, I'm saying like
2%.
1.5% of it is probably real.
Yeah, so you might get something off of it, but generally overall, I would say it's all crap.
Yeah, I just want to answer Cara here as well. Where is it? What do you suggest to use to prove to others that can be reviewed and hear it? Spirit box, you get radio waves mixed in, so it's kind of hard to say. That's true. It is hard to say. The problem with this industry, especially with our line of work, there are always going to be people who don't believe you. No matter what you present, you could be the most real investigator in the world. Give them a voice recording of you talking to something, and you get one EVP. You get something that says hello in the background of that tape. But that's the only thing you get, and you present that to them, they're going to tell you it's not real because they're like that. The best thing I do is, one, I keep all my raw footage from every investigation, and I don't get rid of it. So if people ever question the integrity of my investigation, I will arrange to meet with them in a public area, like a coffee shop or something. They can bring a laptop. I'll bring them that memory stick, and they can sit there and watch the hours of investigating. And if they can, but that's the raw footage. You can see everything's there as it is. Here's it from a different camera angle. Here's another angle. You can tell they're recorded at the same time. So stuff like that. But also, I like doing, there's people at work who don't believe in this stuff or don't believe me. And I say to them, I was like, well, next time I go out, then come with me. Yeah. Come and do it with me.
So to answer, I think this is your question, Nicole. So if you want to get into that area, we don't suggest it, but if you do, you can get, depending on your phone, if you have iOS or Android, you can just get it through your app store.
Yeah,
but some of them do cost money. So
especially Necrophonic, it's like $11.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that use that, and I've seen it, and I've played with it a little bit once, somebody else's phone, and I don't like it. I just don't like it.
It's definitely like an odd one. It's also co-created or co-owned by Huff Paranormal, which means I'm definitely never using it again.
Yeah. If you know who Huff Paranormal is, Howard. Yeah. So, but other than that, Howard, and thank you, Lex, for all that. Very informative, like it is every single week we do it.
I got you.
And, I have to say, you look fabulous today.
Thank you.
I'm memorized by your new camera. It's really, really good. So, Howard.
Yes, sir.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so very much.
It's been a pleasure to have you on today. And I've learned so much more about you. We've gotten to see another side of you that I really enjoy. And like I said earlier, I enjoy being on your show and talking when we do talk through Messenger or wherever. and you're just a fun guy to be around. And I'm looking forward to meeting you in September. And I think we're gonna have a blast. We're gonna have a
we're gonna
real
have
blast.
some fun. We're gonna have some fun.
We're gonna have some fun. But I want to say thank you for coming on today's show. We'll definitely have you. Maybe what we'll do is we'll bring you back on after Fearfest, and you can talk about Fearfest and how it went and stuff like that. And
we'll be actually gearing up for Matt to come down after Fearfest, because Matt's coming down. We're gonna be working on that global ghost hunt thing.
Yeah, and he was talking about that today on GGH Live today. He was talking about that. So looking forward to seeing what you guys are coming up with. So he said
I'm excited to see Anthony. I want to see Anthony. The Wraith, he's called Wraith Lord now. It's not Wraith Prince, it's Wraith Lord.
Yeah.
And I want to see him cross that border. I just want to see him going back and forth that border.
There you go. And to answer Nicole's question, Fearfest is in New Orleans. That's where it is this year.
Louisiana. And we're on Facebook. We have a web page, Fearfest 2023 New Orleans. We have a Facebook page. We have a web page, and we have an Eventbrite page.
Yeah. It's going to be a great Paracon, and it's going to be in a great city. So, if you guys can, you might have to go through this chat. I believe I actually have in the description the link for where you can buy tickets. I believe I do, but I want to say my goodbyes, Howard, and I definitely, obviously, we'll talk soon. And I hope you have a great rest of the day. And thank you again for coming on today's show.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Howard. Pleasure to meet you, and we look forward to seeing you after Fearfest, and we hope it all goes absolutely swimming for you on the next one around. So we look forward to seeing that. But thank you for coming.
Maybe next year, maybe this year you might want to come down. Come on over to the pond.
It's a long swim.
I know.
So if you can just wait in the back for a couple of minutes, and we'll be there soon. Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for having me.
Wow. And you know what I thought about this? We never asked our last question.
Oh, yeah, we didn't. Well, we'll save that for after Fearfest.
Yes, we will. That was, I was thinking about that while you were saying goodbye. I go, damn, we never asked our last question. But yeah, we'll definitely do that when he comes back on. But wow, there was a lot of people in the room today, and thank you for all your wonderful comments. We really, really appreciate it. And you know what, guys? If you don't know what Paralanx is, go over to Paralanx, give them a follow. They have several different pages from Paralanx 1, Paralanx 2, Paralanx 3, Paralanx Plus, and they also have Paralanx Tech, I believe, too, as well. So if you want to go over and give them a follow, they got a lot of great shows on Paralanx Plus and Paralanx 1. And just go over and give them a follow and say hi and tell them that you saw them on Through the Lens, or you saw Howard. That would be great. But all the comments today, all the people in the room, I want to say thank you so much for stopping by. I will let you know we probably won't be back for a couple of weeks because of Global Ghost Hunt starting this week. So so not this week, not the following week, probably the week after we'll be back doing our show. But I hope everybody's going to really take an opportunity to watch Global Ghost Hunt. We have some people that are in the room right now that are going to be participating. And you know what? If I can ask anybody anything, when the Global Ghost Hunt does start, if you can just share it out to different groups so it can get out everywhere, and really will help support the locations and the groups that are doing the live investigations. But until 3 weeks from now, we'll see you guys back here. And Lex?
Yes, you will. And guess what? Episode 100 is going to hit like something crazy, because think of the things we're going to be able to talk about. We might even be able to show some stuff. Like episode 100 is going to be absolutely insane.
You know what? That kind of works out. That way we can plan. We can plan the 100th show. That's great. We'll have some time to plan it.
I know. I need to dye my hair gold. I need to dye my beard gold. for the 100.
Okay, everyone. I want
But we'll
everybody to have
see you then. But,
Yeah.
but thank you to the chat. Thank you to everyone who watches replays. Thank you to everyone listening on the podcasts. And again, thank you, Howard, for coming on. You've been a phenomenal guest, as everyone is when they come up on here. But we'll see you in 3 weeks. So stay safe, stay spooky.